There we go. We have this going recording now. So Coach Williams, thanks for joining us. Happy Halloween to everybody. Coach, if you can make some opening comments about the game and looking forward to this week and what it was like practicing on Sunday. And then we will take some questions from everybody. So I'll turn it over to you.
Well, the game, the first half started off really well. I think we started off, winning the line of scrimmage and running the ball well. And in the second half, we sputtered a little bit, offense and defense. And, some plays that they made, were momentum killers as far as, a fake punt and different things like that. But things I asked for is win the line of scrimmage. And I think we even did that on defense. I mean, right now the quarterback has some runs that, we wish we could take back. But at the same time, we held up well against their run game and we ran the ball extremely well. We ran Keontae Ingram had over 20 yards rushing, and we looked it up. He had a minus 133 yards because of penalties. So that's somebody that would almost have close to a 350-yard day yesterday. So those are plays that we can't get back. Those are plays that we need to correct. And, all in all, yes, Drake London is out with an ankle fracture. It will be season ending. But at the same time, in those 8 games he played, I think, that's somebody you see in those 8 games, all the awards you could think of, he deserves. Whether it's the Biletnikoff, whether it's first team All-American, the things he did for this team and this university, he was about to put up probably one of the best statistical seasons, any receiver has ever put up in college football. And that's saying a lot. At the same time, yes, we're going to miss him as a player, but things that, people forget about is who he is as a person to this team. He's a team captain for a reason. He's a leader. He's someone that shows up every day and works extremely, extremely hard. He's competitive. So, yes, we will miss him. At the same time, we all have a task that we need to, do. And, we're looking forward to playing Arizona State that, provides all sorts of problems as far as, their defense creates turnovers. They're aggressive up front. They have playmakers in the back end. And at the same time, they run the ball extremely well, probably one of the better running teams in the whole nation. And they have a quarterback that's a great player.
Okay, we'll take questions. Again, raise your hand if you have a question. Keep yourself on mute if you're not speaking. We'll start with Ryan Karchi.
Hey, Donte, with the Drake news, I know you said it doesn't affect the offense as a whole and what you guys try to do, but in terms of the individual receivers, how much more does that put kind of on, guys like Taj, guys like Gary to step up, and how much of an opportunity do you see it for them kind of in changing this offense without Drake?
You know what? I think it puts a great, emphasis on those guys. But at the same time, those aren't the guys really truly worried about stepping up. It's everyone else, right? The guys that no one has got a chance to truly see yet. The Michael Jacksons of the world, the Kyron Ware-Hudsons, the Joseph Manjaks, and also puts even more of emphasis on our tight ends. So, it's not one person that, could take over Drake's role. It's going to be done collectively. And they all need to step their game up, and they will.
And from your perspective, how did Drake just kind of handle the news just in general, his season being over?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to see that, right away when it was all, talked about. So I couldn't really say that. I know right now he was still today in the team meeting. He still was high spirits. He still was walking around on his crutches, but he still was, smiling. And he still was one of the guys. He didn't look at it as like he was devastated and crying and by himself. He was still here. And that shows you, once again, what kind of person he is. He's a team leader and a team captain for a reason. And he still wants to be around his guys and still wants to do everything he possibly can to lead them.
Okay, Adam Grossberg.
Yeah, Donte, just, Drake has been such a leader for this team, both on and off the field, really just the best player this season. Like, what do you tell the team about, trying to rally and not let that kind of just be just like an emotional damper for the team moving forward?
You know what? I don't think it will be. I think it was more of an emotional damper, probably the second half. When you lose a creative player, like on a video game, he's a creative player. So when you lose a creative player, a lot of guys, it did take a little air out of us in the second half. Even the energy on the sideline, I think in the first half, the energy was extremely, extremely high. So when you lose, a great player like that, now it's a little different because we have a whole week to prepare for the things that we need to do as far as getting new guys in the game, as far as the guys that are in the game, just to adjust their roles and the things we need to do to get ready for Arizona State.
And yesterday you said, when Arizona cut the lead down to 7 in the fourth quarter, that it was always the plan for Jackson to get the ball in the fourth quarter. But talking to Jackson and Keaton yesterday, neither of them said they knew who was going to get the ball in that situation until the moment. So if that was always the plan, why wasn't it communicated to the quarterbacks?
Well, at the same time, it was more of me and Graham and communicating with them as the time went ahead. At the same time, you got to make sure Jackson is fully back. When he got in there in the game and the whole week of practice, just making sure where his mind was at. Because even the first drive he was in, he led us, I believe, on a 96-yard scoring drive. But at the same time, he made a couple reads and checks that were wrong. The second time he went back out there, he pretty much started making the right read. So you have to make sure he was fully in the game and, know what was going on to make that assessment. And even Keaton, when I talked to Keaton the day before the game, he knew that Jackson was going in the fourth quarter. He thought Jackson was going to go in more in the game with a bigger lead, but he didn't know at that time with a 7-point lead was going to go in. But we stuck to the plan that was already deviated.
Okay, Antonio Morales.
Donte, just how much of a concern is there about quarterbacks and keeping their rhythm when they're rotating like that?
You know what? I don't know if we'll rotate going forward. I don't know. It's a chance that we could keep rotating going forward. We're actually the ones that are lucky. We have two really, really good quarterbacks that, probably can start anywhere, any team right now in the nation. So we're fortunate. So it's not really the problem for us. It's like I say, the problem is for our opponent to game plan for two different guys.
What do you think would ultimately lead you to decide to only play one?
Just if one guy has the hot hand and he's pretty much the offense is clicking, then, pretty much just ride out with that hot hand.
Let's go to Ryan Young.
Donte, what is Parker Lewis's status, and what do you think of the way Alex filled in there?
Parker Lewis' status is he's, ready to go when his numbers caught up on. And, Alex did a great job in this game. He was all business and, he went out there, he made all his kicks and, we had touchbacks. So I was really pleased with the way that, he played in the game.
So that wasn't an injury situation. That was just a coach's choice.
Yeah, that was a decision because, like I say, guys are going to be held accountable. So it was something that, was in-house that needed to be held accountable for.
Thanks.
And Ryan Abrams.
Hey, Donte, the Pac-12 teams in the Coliseum just seem to do well scoring your opponents, scoring their season high, at least coming into the game or right near there. Have you guys seen anything on film of what you guys do defensively to just kind of allow some of those teams to come in and just put up more points than they typically have during this season?
At the same time, 7 of those points, happened on a great play that they made on defense. So it wasn't all offensive drives. At the same time, they did some things that were a little different than what they showed on film. At first, number 10 for them was more of a wildcat guy. Yesterday, number 10 was a quarterback. So that right there created some issues in itself. And, their regular quarterback didn't show, him running around and moving. And yesterday he did that. They did some different things on film that created an issue and a problem. And, we made adjustments and they continued to make adjustments. So it was a chess game. And they did some things that were really well in the passing game against us.
And then you got the practice today. What were you guys trying to accomplish, and how do you think it went?
Today's practice was what we would do on Monday. So at the same time, Tuesday, the NCAA made Tuesday a day, for guys to vote and different things like that. So, it's a waiver that you could do to pretty much change that. But at the same time, we talked about, all these different policies of making sure these guys, pretty much vote and do everything right so that they know who they're voting for and their voice is heard. So why adjust that or change that? Let them get their opinions out there of what they feel is right. And so I want to make sure they have the opportunity on Tuesday to do that. So we decided to move practice to Sunday just so we get a full day in. To be honest, I think it's a great opportunity for us. It's a whole extra 24 hours to get prepared for our opponent. Where usually so many things they didn't know until Monday, they was able to get those things on a Sunday. So I think a whole full 24 hours to get prepared for our opponent is great.
Ryan Coach.
Donte, I just want to clarify. So Keaton said that he was told that Jackson was going to get, quote, a few series in the game.
I'm sorry, it was choppy. So I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, sir. So Keaton, when we asked him about it, said he was told that Jackson was going to get a few series in the game. And we asked him if he knew he was going to be on it, that Jackson or him would be in on that fourth quarter drive when you guys were up 7. He said that he was just waiting to hear from you guys. So I just wanted to clarify, did you tell him that Jackson would be the quarterback in the fourth quarter?
I told him that Jackson would be in the third and fourth series of the game. At the same time, the second series of the game went for 2 plays and a touchdown. So I decided to keep him out there for extra series. I also told him that hopefully we have a lead in the fourth quarter. We have a lead in the fourth quarter, let Jackson finish the game and play the fourth quarter. Now, did I know that the lead was going to be cut down to 7 points? No, I did not know that. But we stuck to the plan that in which that we had talked about. At the same time, I'm pretty sure him being the competitor he is and the great player, he thought maybe the 7-point lead will, we would deviate from the plan, and we didn't.
But in that sense, wouldn't you want, your best quarterback specifically in such a decisive position? I mean, did you feel like Jackson was, because of that plan, that he was the best person in that specific spot?
No, I feel like we're lucky once again to have 2 great quarterbacks. So, we have 2 great quarterbacks. Just, it's not one guy that you just like, oh, he's just going to be in that spot. We're fortunate enough to have 2 guys that, we trust to run the offense and be very capable of running the offense.
Okay, shotgun.
Hey, Donte, one of the defenders said that you guys didn't meet the standard for the defense. What is the standard for your defense, and how do you get to that in the final 4 games?
Oh, well, definitely eliminating explosive plays. I feel we did some things that show we tackle better in the run game on the actual running back. Now we had some missed tackles when the quarterback got out the pocket. That's the issue that we need to clean up. At the same time, the explosive plays, we have to eliminate them. I mean, it's just 4 explosive plays I can think of just top of my head right now. And all 4 of those plays, it was, bang, bang type plays. It's not like the guy was just running 5 yards free. We're right there. And all 4 of those plays they made and we didn't make them. So that right there is an issue in itself.
Do you feel like a defense can improve? I mean, you guys are 2/3 of the way through the season. Do you feel like a defense can improve at this point in the season, or are you you are what you are right now?
Hell yeah, I think we can improve. I think it's improvement everywhere for us. I mean, like I say, Keontae rushed for 204 yards yesterday and 133 were wiped out for penalties. So just, you take some of those penalties back, he has a 300-yard rush day. And the list goes on and on. I think we all need to continue to improve, including myself. I think, even as a man, the moment you think that you can't improve no more, you're almost done as a man, just like learning. So we have to continue to grow no matter how much time is left, even if it's the last game of the season.
Okay, we're going to take one final question to get off here on 7. So we'll go to Wayne.
Is that me, Tim?
Yes, Ryan.
I didn't hear you. Okay. Donte, the D-line depth was really thin last night. What are you expecting in terms of getting some of those guys back eventually with Nick and Dijon was out, Ishmael, Sakona, etc.?
To be honest, I hope to get some of those guys back. I mean, today was more of a really light practice like what we do on a Monday. So it's hard to determine, that right now, because just the things that was asked them to do today wasn't really like full go. We'll, assess a lot more of these guys tomorrow. And then, we're fortunate enough that in the middle of the week, we get Tuesday off and come back Wednesday. So, it's hard to assess where they're right now. None of them are ruled out for the game. So we'll see right now how the week progresses as if some of them can come back. It's still extremely early in the week. So just like you all, hope some of those guys are back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Coach, thanks for joining us. I know you have to get off by 7 here. And to the media, thank you for being here. Happy Halloween again to everybody. Go out and get some candy. Reminder that we do practice tomorrow instead of Tuesday, 4 p.m. It'll be like a regular Tuesday practice for your access, and then we'll be back on schedule on Wednesday. So we'll see you all hopefully on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you. Fight on.
Thank you.